What's going on, Rovers? It's Mr. Shalot back with another video. Today we're going to be going over 2-point perspectives. All right, we're continuing with that same shape that we drew before. Just to remind you, the width of the shape was 4, the height was 2, and then the depth is also 2. So when we go to set up our box, all right, this is the sheet that you have in front of you. We're going to do our classroom demo here on plain white paper. Okay, you could do it on the graph paper that I've distributed, but don't go right to this sheet. I want you to do a version prior to that so you understand how we get this box. How does that come into play? So continuing on, all right, there was our 1-point perspective. 2-point perspectives, all right, when we're doing this, what happens is you have 2 different vanishing points, all right? In our 1 point, we only had that 1. Now we're going to have 2, okay? So you're going to spread them out across your horizon line up here at the top, and then the halfway point, somewhere in the middle, you're going to come down and make another dot. Basically, it's a big triangle, okay? Off of this point, we have to draw a straight vertical line, okay? Straight vertical line. That straight vertical line that we draw is going to be a distance of 2. You're not measuring anything. This is just a random line that we're drawing. But we know the height of our object or our box is going to be 2. So I'm going to draw a straight line up and down, what I feel is 2. Everybody's going to be different, okay? Then, off of that vertical line that I have, you're going to project the top and the bottom of it over to vanishing point number 2, and the top and the bottom of it over to vanishing point number 1. So you're drawing 4 lines. You're basically going to get a big V, okay? You'll have 2 lines going in this direction and 2 lines going off in that direction. Go ahead and do those projections. Everything's nice and light. You're not darkening anything in yet. You're keeping everything real light on your page. All right, so there's our projection so far, okay, on our 2-point perspectives going back. At this point, we bring in our drawing again, all right? In our box is 4 wide by 2 deep, okay? 4 wide by 2 deep. So that means on this side, we're going to go back a distance of 4. You're going to come over, make a mark, all right? So over here, I'll make a mark. On this side, I'm going to go back half of that distance. So this side's only 2. We'll do a vertical line there. Okay? So go ahead and do those projections. All right, on this side, I'm going to come back what I feel is a distance of 4. And this side, I'm going to come back half that distance. What is 2? All right? Now, these lines that you project, okay, these have to be parallel to that original line. So this line and this line are parallel. This line and this line are parallel. That's important, all right? Now, where those lines cross over here, I now need to project this to the other vanishing point. So from here, I'm going to go over to 1. And where this one comes up and crosses over, I'm going to go over to 2. We're going to do those projections, all right? So you're going corner to corner, and that will give us our box. Show that in just a sec here after I get this sketched out. Okay, so looking at our drawing, all right, we now have our box. This thing has a height of 2. It goes to the right 2. It goes to the left 4, and now we have the roof of our box. So the box is done, all right? Now you'll remember over here when we did our 1-point perspective, we did these 2 sides first. So we're going to do that again over here, all right? When we're looking at the box, all right, this here is a distance of 2. This here is a distance of 4. I need to go half that distance here, make a mark. When I have that mark, I'm going to go up. When it hits this line, I'm going over. And then on this side, this is a distance of 4, okay? This distance of 4, I only need to go over from here a distance of 1. So I'll find the midway point, and then I'll go halfway of that distance. I'm going to project that line up. When it crosses this line, you're going to project over to vanishing point number 2. All right, so we're doing this section and this section, much like we did over here, okay? We're doing those 2 boxes currently. So I'm going to go ahead and do those projections. Keep everything nice and light. You're not darkening anything in yet. All right, everything's nice and light. Make sure those lines stay nice and parallel. All right, just to show you on camera again, okay? Here I have that line, it went straight up. As soon as it hits here, I now need to go over to vanishing point number 1. And on this side, I went back. As soon as this hits here, I'm going over to vanishing point number 2. Okay, so we have to do those projections. Go ahead and draw those in nice and light. All right. So now we have our projections. You're starting to get a whole lot of lines on the page right now. Okay, so we want to start darkening things in. You guys are going to darken in, make sure it's nice and clean. Just for the video, I'll darken everything nice and dark so you can see easily what we're doing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and darken in. Okay. Okay, there's our 2 sides. We've gotten those. We also have the roof here. If you can see it, we'll follow this along. So this line goes to here and over. That's going to give us that L. And then from here over gives us that L. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and darken those in so we can start to see the top of our box. Again, nice and clean on yours. Make sure you're using something nice and straight. The side of a notebook, a ruler, anything you find straight in your house. Okay. So there's the roof. Okay. The roof is done. The 2 sides are done. Now we got to do the bottom. Okay, we got to get that L. So from this point, it needs to be projected. Well, it's already gone back to 1. So from this point, I'm now going to go over to vanishing point number 2. Down here, opposite, okay? I already went to vanishing point 2 here. I now need to go to vanishing point number 1. So I'm going to go in that direction. We'll go ahead and do those projections. Keep them light. Okay, you don't know it's correct yet, so you don't want to darken anything in. Just trust the process, okay? Just like the Sixers, trust the process, okay? You're not done yet. You just got to believe in yourself that you're going to get the right answer, because we don't know if we have the right answer at this point. We're just getting lines on our page. All right, you got to just trust the process of projecting our line. So from here, we're going over to 2. From here, we're going over to 1. Now we've got the lines there. We can go ahead and start to darken things in. All right. So, all right. Looking good. Looking good. Now we have that one final line. We look over here, okay, we had that one final line that we have to draw. We look at our drawing here, okay. We need that vertical line right here. And the unfortunate thing is you do all these lines, you do your whole drawing, and then you don't find out to the very end whether or not you had the drawing correct. And that's when we go to draw this particular line, okay. And that is, if you did everything right, this point and this point should be right above one another. it should be parallel. You'll notice all of our vertical lines are straight up and down, every single one of them. This one cannot go on an angle. It's got to be straight up and down. And if this point and this point are right above one another, you did the drawing correct. So let's find out. All right, line everything up. Darken it in. All right. We look at the drawing, and it worked out, okay? They were right above one another. So that's a 2-point perspective, all right? Over here we did our 1-point perspective. Now we have our 2-point perspective. Very similar, but a lot more projecting, okay? In a 1-point perspective, we always went to that 1 point over here on the right. But now we have to project in 2 different ways, depending on where we are at on our drawing, okay? Good job on this. When you do your submission for a 2-point perspective, I want to see this version that you did on plain white paper or on graph paper right next to this one, okay? The one on the homework page. And I've given you an extra sheet of this just in case you screw up, all right? So you got 2 copies of it, all right? Good job. And then once you're finished with this, you can move on to the 3-point perspective. Later, Rovers.